What are certifications? Why are they so in demand today? Why do I need to get a certification? What certifications do I get? What is the best way to get an IT certification? Well, these are some of the questions you have in your mind. You're probably in the right place today because we are discussing about IT certifications that you must get in order to get ahead in your career today. My name is Sabrish Chand. I'm your IT consulting expert here on YouTube, helping people like yourself become professionals in the IT industry. If you haven't liked or subscribed to my channel yet, please do so, because every week I post content related to IT consulting and IT in general, which could help people like yourself become professionals in the IT industry. I want to talk to you a little bit about why IT certifications are so relevant and important in today's working conditions. Since the pandemic of 2020, you might have noticed that everything has been pretty much transitioned online, and organizations who struggled to get online during that period are right now in transition phase to move their business operations online so they could serve their customers online at a much faster rate as well. And likewise, the customers have started demanding the need for business operations to be conducted online so they can be contacted at any point in time, or they are provided with self-service capabilities which allows them to receive services online as well. And you must have also seen that the availability of skilled resources online is much greater than any skilled resource being available at a particular geographic location as well. So this has opened up doors for the employers to be able to access a global talent pool of skilled resources, which necessitates the importance of having something that would differentiate between yourself and those who are in the competition. So certifications give you a competitive edge when it comes to job opportunities, because chances are if you have a certification that is relevant to the job, and if somebody doesn't have it, then the chances of you getting through that first round and getting a hiring manager discussion round is fairly high when compared to the person who doesn't have a certification for the job they are applying for. However, you must keep in mind that end of the day, the organizations are hiring you and not your credentials. So it is also important to not get carried away by certifications and focus on the right certifications to get at the right time. So let's explore IT certifications in detail. Any IT certification is usually issued by a governing authority or governing body. The governing body puts out a body of knowledge which covers the details about how and where and what the certification is all about. It also covers additional aspects of the tools, techniques, and deliverables that the role or the person will employ during their practice. So each IT certification issued by a governing authority usually sets a standard or a guideline through its issuance of a body of knowledge. The body of knowledge is nothing but a course or syllabus or curriculum that covers all aspects of what the IT certification accredits in a practitioner and what they're supposed to do and whatnot. It is usually governed by a certain set of policies and procedures that will have to be complied by the practitioners who are certified by the credential. The IT certification is usually in the form of a digital badge, which is very common these days, and a certificate that has a validity of a certain amount of time. Usually the validity period is between 1 to 3 years for most of the IT certifications, and sometimes you would have to take up newer versions of the same certification in order to effectively maintain your certification status. And some certifications will require you to demonstrate your practice in the area of your certification by accumulating professional development units or continuous development units and so on. So at the end of the validity period, if you don't renew your credential or if you don't recertify, you will lose the credential and you would no longer be able to display that credential in your job applications or your profile. So the structure of an IT certification really is something that you must consider while deciding to go for an IT certification. Now, for ease of understanding, let's explore the different work streams involved in IT, and based on each of these work streams, there are a number of governing bodies that issue different credentials and certifications for the practitioners who belong to one of these work streams. So the main work streams in IT are a developer work stream, an architect work stream, an analyst work stream, a management work stream, and a supporting function work stream. So let's explore these work streams in detail. People working in the development work stream are usually concerned with developing applications and systems and or supporting those systems for enhancements and defects and so on. So people in this area should consider focusing on certifications related to a specific technology like SAP, Oracle, and other enterprise technologies that are available today. You could also consider focusing on programming languages such as Python, .NET, Java, HTML, and other popular programming languages that are hugely in demand in the current market conditions. And finally, if you're working on integration services, any certification you could get on APIs or developing APIs, and any integration services such as TIBCO, Amazon Web Services, and so on, that'll help in integrations between different enterprise systems. The architect workstream is pretty straightforward. You have just a few popular certifications there, and one of the most popular ones in the architect workstream is the TOGAF. So this is issued by the open group and is usually a credential that doesn't expire. So if you're somebody who's wanting to learn architecture to design systems and applications, this is a certification that I would highly recommend. And in the analyst workstream, there's different certifications depending on whether you're an analyst of a business, an application, data, technology, or even security areas. So for business analysts, the most popular certification out there is the CBAP. And of course, there are other versions of CBAP, which will allow you to eventually get on a path to CBAP. For data analytics, you could consider doing Six Sigma or any other equivalent data analytic programs and certifications. For application-specific analyst certifications, you could consider doing any functional certifications that are offered by all these enterprise systems and or specific technology systems as well. And management is usually a project management professional or a program management certification that most of the governing bodies offer, and there could also be change management certifications that could be considered, like the ProSci or change management professional, and so on. And finally, information security is a support function that is hugely in demand after companies started transitioning online, and the security has become a number one priority for those companies and the clients that they work with. So information securities are highly in demand as well. And other common certifications like any standards, for example, ITIL is a good standard or a framework that you could get certified in. Six Sigma, any business process management notations, and methodology related certifications like Agile, Scrum, Kanban are highly popular as well. So in this section, I'm going to give you a few tips that'll help you to choose the right certification for your career progression. So depending on where you fall in one of those 5 work streams, there are a number of certifications available. However, this is a much more structured approach that I would recommend you to take. So my 5 tips to you to identify the best certifications for you in IT are: where are you in your career today? So depending on what you are doing and which of those work streams you fit into in your career today, there are some certification programs that are offered by related governing authorities that you could consider for your certifications. Look at where you want to go as well. So that's number 2. Identify where you want to be at in the next certain period of time. So depending on where you want to go, there are certification programs available for those roles as well. So that is something that you definitely want to consider in planning out your career progression and your certification journey. Look at how long of a time you have before you get to the new role. Now, let's say if you want to get to a new role within the next 12 months, then there's only certain certifications that you can consider in order for you to get there. So identify how long of a time period you have and use that to plan for your certifications accordingly. Number 4, identify all the governing authorities that are issuing those certifications related to where you are and where you want to go. And number 5, identify all the requirements about the certification. Now, do some research before you go and invest in a certification, because chances are that some of the certifications are only valid for a certain period of time. So make sure you do your research ahead in time. I would say look at these 5 criteria for any certification you want to invest into. These 5 criteria will help you narrow down the best certification for you. Always consider these 5 requirements before deciding on your next IT certification. 1 is the preparation time required for the certification. This is a very important criteria to consider, because chances are you might take very long to prepare, and by the time you prepare and appear for the exam, the certification has already lost its popularity. So always look at the preparation time before you jump into a certification. Number 2, the examination structure and your ability to do your exams online is something you must definitely definitely consider, because chances are if you have to travel to an institute or a certain place to write the exam, you have to factor the cost of travel, the time, effort, and all that into consideration while planning for that certification as well. Number 3, the validity of certification is something I would recommend you to consider while you are deciding to go for a certification. The longer the validity, the better, but sometimes you are required to get those certifications that have a minimum validity period, like 1 year, so that becomes a bit more hassle, and it takes a lot of commitment from you to maintain the certification. So it's not a one-time activity, it is going to be a continuous learning requirement for you to maintain that certification. So that's something I would definitely recommend you to consider while opting for certification. So the next one is the credentials. The type of credentials that a certification offers is another important criteria in my view that must be considered. If you are provided with certificates, chances are that you cannot put it out on your social media platforms or anywhere, so your ability to showcase that credential will greatly reduce in that situation. These days, most of the organizations issue digital badges which can be added to your social media platforms easily, but there are still organizations or governing bodies that issue just the certificates alone. So that's something you might want to consider while preparing for your certification in IT. And finally, there's going to be a membership requirement with some governing bodies, meaning if you are wanting to take a certification from a specific governing body or an authority, you would have to sign up a membership with them, which will be an additional cost on top of the certification that you are paying to this governing authority. So that's something to factor in mind and something to consider while you are considering an IT certification program. So there you have it. I hope you found the video helpful in providing information about IT certifications and IT certification programs from governing authorities. And if you have any interest in pursuing IT technical certifications, do visit us at iitcinternational.com. We provide a 360-degree transformational training in IT that will cover the industry skills, technical skills, and the consulting skills that you would need to excel in your IT careers. So if you're interested in that, just make sure you visit the link at iitcinternational.com, and I'll be happy to assist you with any questions you might have. As always, keep your comments coming and make sure to like and subscribe this video, and watch out for my video every week on IT and IT consulting. I'm your IT consulting expert on YouTube, helping people like yourself become professionals in the IT industry. So until next time, you take care and stay safe out there.